You ever wonder what happens when your marriage certificate from another country needs to convince a government worker in Ohio that yes, you really are married? It is not magic, it is paperwork, and paperwork from abroad comes with its own tiny obstacle course. Civil documents are just the official record of big life events, birth, marriage, divorce, and death, stamped by whatever government was watching when it happened. The problem is the United States does not automatically trust a piece of paper from another country just because it looks official and has a fancy seal. So the first step is usually getting something called an apostille, which sounds like a fancy French pastry, but is actually a certification that says this document is legit in its home country. Think of it as a passport for your paperwork, proving it did not just print itself out on a home computer. Not every country uses the apostille system though, and that is where things get spicy. If your document comes from a country that is not part of the Hague Convention, you might need something called consular authentication, which is basically your document going through a longer security line at the airport. Once the document clears that hurdle, it usually needs a certified translation if it is not in English. This is not the job for your cousin who took 2 years of Spanish in high school. Immigration officials want a professional translator who will sign off that the translation is accurate. Here's a plain misunderstanding people make constantly. They think Google Translate counts as certified. It does not, and using it can slow your case down or even get your application flagged for review. Now let us talk about why this even matters so much. Immigration cases often hinge on proving relationships, like showing you are really married to prove a spousal visa, or proving someone passed away to settle an inheritance or update a family petition. A death certificate might seem like a sad formality, but in immigration terms, it can literally change someone's legal status overnight. If a petitioner passes away during the process, that death certificate becomes the document that decides what happens next for the family left behind. Divorce certificates carry their own drama too, especially when someone is trying to remarry or prove they are legally free to sponsor a new spouse. If your divorce paperwork from abroad is incomplete or missing a section, immigration officials will treat it like a plot hole in a movie, confusing and worth pausing everything to sort out. This is where an immigration lawyer becomes less of a luxury and more of a translator between two totally different bureaucratic universes. They know exactly which stamp, which seal, and which translation format a specific consulate or immigration office expects, because these requirements change country by country like accents in a road trip movie. A good lawyer also knows the timing tricks, like how some documents expire for immigration purposes even if they never expire in real life. A birth certificate from 1992 might still be true today, but immigration might want a freshly issued copy anyway because bureaucracies love redundancy. There is also a quiet issue nobody talks about enough: name discrepancies. Maybe your name is spelled one way on your birth certificate and slightly different on your marriage certificate, and suddenly the government wants an affidavit explaining why you are the same human being? The instinct is to panic, but the fix is usually simple. Get an official explanation letter or a supplemental document that bridges the gap. Preparation beats panic every single time, and this is exactly the kind of moment where a lawyer looks at a messy pile of documents and says, "Relax." We have seen this 1,000 times. Culturally, this process also reveals something bigger: how differently countries define and record family life. Some countries did not even issue standardized certificates until recently, which means older documents sometimes need extra verification just because record keeping used to be more casual than a group chat. So if you are staring at a stack of foreign documents wondering if any of this will actually work, the smartest move is getting real guidance instead of guessing your way through consulates and translation services. You want to learn more about how our company helps sort through all of this? Then check out our links in the description.